So guys, get off the ladder here. Me and the wife, as a lot of y'all know, have a 2021 Clayton Homes Island Breeze, I believe is the model. And we've had terrible experience with the sheeting on this house and the vinyl. Vinyl's just improperly installed. It wasn't pulled tight enough as far as pulling it up. And it was stapled too tight, so it couldn't move. So when the weather changed, it would bow and come loose. And we had like 2 or 3 pieces flapping in the wind in a giant bow here. And we had one on the other side of the house. And the maintenance, or whatever you call it, repair department of the Clayton Homes dealer we bought this from, came out. And this is the mess that we get. They had put the vinyl siding back on with drywall screws, first off. And to try to relieve this bow, they cut some Kerf cuts. And, I don't know, a bunch of random holes. And I'm assuming this is the stud. They got a drywall screw in it. And, this bow is still just, it's bad. So, if I had a level, I would show you, but I would say it dips. Renee, go grab me a 6-foot level and let me show them. Well, look what I got here, boys. Thank you, baby. Hold it tight. Big yellow level. I'll lay it right there for a minute. Hold on to that bar. Let me show you guys how bad this is bowed. Now, this is supposed to be flat. That's over 1 inch. At the end of the level, that's over 2 inches. If I put it flat to this side, look at that. That's over 2.5 inches on the end of that. That's pitiful. Straight up, flat out, pitiful. I don't really know how I'm gonna fix it yet, but we'll figure it out. I'm not calling the maintenance department again, because they came out and this is what you get from them. Just a cobbed mess. Don't even fix the house right back. So, I'm a little aggravated if you can't tell. Shouldn't pay $100,000 for something and 3 years old, and then get this kind of cobbed mess from the guys that's supposed to know what they're doing. Apparently they don't. Alright guys, so this is very ridiculous. It keeps getting worse. There's a giant hole in the sheeting. I pulled this up and stink bugs have, now we figured out how the stink bugs are getting in the house. God, it makes me sick. If I could, I'd tell them I'm gonna get this junk. I'm not unappreciative at all, but this is just very uncalled for. They completely cut across that top section. Oh, bad as I hate to, I think this whole piece of sheet is gonna have to come out. Alright guys, I'm busted and disgusted. So I ended up having to pull off a whole lot of vinyl. And now I've got to go meet my mom, so hopefully the wind don't blow it out of the, because I laid it in order the way I took it off. Starting with the top, working my way down. So hopefully it don't get blowed all over the place. But my thought is, I'll let y'all watch me. Now I'm not going to leave this flapping like they did. I'll get some zip flashing tape and tape everything back up. But I ain't going to fight with it. I don't fight with junk. I try not to rig stuff up. I try to do it to the best of my ability. And this whole piece of sheeting from this seam, and they stood this vertical too, which is kind of odd. But from this seam over to this seam, that 4x8 sheet, I'll have to cut it at the top, and right at the tip top there ain't really nothing I can do with it. And I got to get a piece of sheeting on the way home. And that's got to get cut out and ripped out. And I'm thinking there may be a stud bowed in there, or hopefully it's just the sheeting's bowed out. But this side here is not as, it ain't as bowed, and it's bowed horrible, but it ain't bowed as bad as the end was. So I would hate to see how they rigged it up fixing it. But I got to rip that piece of sheeting off, and I'm just going to put a whole new piece in so it's done right. All right, guys. So I got that sheet off, and it must be over 8 foot to the top, because that sheet just runs right under the edge of that. And I was able to pry up under the bottom. But now my top block are just 2-inch cap blocks, because these are just skirting. So you want to be sure, if yours are like that, not to pry against those. I just took my hammer and knocked a hole in it and got my bar under the edge. Started working it up and down, and once I get my hand behind it, it just pulled right off. But I'm trying to give you what the culprit here is. So I would say the culprit is improper fastening. If you look here, we got staple, about a foot up, staple, staple, and then they missed that one, barely caught the edge. Then there's no staples the rest of the way up this stud, not a single staple. So they, from about 4 foot up, they didn't staple the rest of that stud. Then if you look here, we had staple, and then we skipped about 2 foot, staple, and they skipped the rest of the way up to the main tops one. That's a drywall screw that the home repair gurus did. And they put one drywall screw in it when they come and cut them kerf marks. So that's part of the problem, improper fastening. The other problem I see here is, if you look, so they use that like red glue stuff to glue the drywall to the studs. See how I can't move that stud? It's glued to it. This one's bowed out. See how it's ripped off of it? It's ripped off the drywall. I can shake it back and forth. It's loose as a goose. And so it's bowed out over an inch right in the, well, probably like 1.25 inches right in the middle. So that's an issue. So what we're going to have to do here is, the only way I know the solution I know to fix that is we'll cut that stud completely, almost all the way in two. We'll leave about 1 inch in like 5 or 6 spots, maybe 8 up through there. And then we'll try to get that to bow back in, and then we'll come and sister that stud from top to bottom, at least like 7-8 foot, sister it and screw it off real good. And we're just trying to get that. I would take it all the way out, which is what I would like to do, but they got a strip of sheeting running across there, and it'd just be hard to get it out up top, and I don't want to risk damaging that soffit and that trim they got running up there. So I'm just going to try to cut it and then scab it back real good, and I ain't going to leave it janky. So if it don't work, I'll do what I got to do to take it out, but I'm going to try that first. So guys, the kerf cuts work. Looks like it's dirty. Let me clear it off for you. Sorry about that, folks. Kerf cuts work. Let me show you how it works. Alright, see that gap? I cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kerf cuts. And they go a little over halfway through the stud. Now if you look here, see that gap? I can push it easily now. So what I'm going to have to do is a real straight stud. I'll cut it about 7 foot to go up at least a foot past that top one. I'll fasten it real good at the bottom. Or no, actually, never mind. Take that back. I'll need to cut it full length to go all the way up in the top. And I'll just push this insulation over and shove it. I won't be able to get a screw in the main top, but I'll get one as far as I can up in there with a long extended bit. Reason being is my mind's going 100 miles a minute. I've actually never had to do this. But we try to build straight walls and use straight lumber. But my mind is telling me that we need to go from bottom plate to top plate, screw it at the top, screw it at the bottom, and then push this in, and then fasten the two studs together, and that should technically hold it there. So that's what we're going to roll with. It has to be better than it was. And all right, guys, so I'm here on the ladder. I got a beautiful camera lady, and I'm going to try to show you what I'm going to do here to fix this. So I cut this tight to the top plate, tight to the bottom. I just pushed my insulation out of the way, screwed it up into the top plate, and then I screwed it into the bottom plate. Now you can see there is, and it went in a ton even just cutting the kerf marks, but still it was about right there, so it was like 7/8 of an inch when I first got the sheeting off. So what we're going to do is we're going to push that in like that, and we're just going to start popping screws up through there, and we're going to work our way up, and we're going to straighten a bowed board. Alright. Sounds like the girls just got the leaf blower in the front yard. So they're probably having the time of their life. So I held that to where they flushed out, and I'll show you here in a second. It pushed the gap completely against the drywall. So definitely between the sheeting being bowed, this one not being fastened right, and this just being a horrible stud that didn't stick to the drywall, and over time it just bowed out. Just kept getting worse and worse. And then the mobile home guys come in here and rig it, and so they fixed it. But that happens a lot in this life. There's a lot of people that claim to be partners, and all they do is out to make a quick dollar. Actually, this one's bowed a little bit too far out this way. So we'll bring a screw in from here. Pull that good and tight. One more up here. Well, camera lady, I dropped the screw. Alright, let me see that camera lady. Renee girl. Thank you for that. Alright, if you look here, remember the bow? Remember how it ripped this drywall, the paper off the back of it? Now, there's no gap. So, we successfully, and you can see those kerf cuts, we successfully took the bow out of it. Now, hopefully, we can lay the level across them, and I still don't think it's going to be perfect. You got to remember, it's a manufactured home. They use staples and everything. I'll give you 5 reasons real quick you shouldn't buy a manufactured home unless you have to. They staple the sheeting on, they staple the studs together, they staple the windows in, they staple the shingles on, and they staple the vinyl siding on. That's 5 areas you should use nails or screws or proper fasteners, and they use thin wire staples. So I get aggravated every time I work on it because of that. Because, you know, I work in the trades every day, and I know that I would never go to a customer's house and staple their house together. Neither should they, but they do. Alright guys, we're going to put the piece of sheeting on. I will need Renee's help for that. And we're going to turn some Ralph Stanley back on and get it up there. So guys, we got the house wrap all stapled back. Now we're going to use some zip tape. And we're going to tape all those seams, tape that big hole they had in it, and tape it back in so it'll be nice and dried in. And I want to show you how much flatter. There's the sheeting we got all mad and ripped off. And all right, it's up there now. And if we try real hard, we can get, what is that, a 1/4 inch gap? And compared to what we had before, over 2 inches, brother, I am more than satisfied. I'm happy with that. So it's getting dark, as you can tell. I appreciate y'all watching. I'm going to put all this vinyl siding back on. That's the bottom run, so we'll start from back there, work our way back up, and I've got them laid out. If there was 2 pieces in a run, they're laying side by side. And I'll just nail this starter strip back up. I'll just start it over and nail it flush with that one, nail it back up, and we're actually going to use, let me show you what we're going to use to nail the vinyl siding on. What should be used. Move some of this out of the way. If anybody wants to, we can use a bigger tool trailer. We got this one full. If anybody's got one that will donate to us, just shoot me an email. We'll get lined up. But let me show you what we're going to use to put the starter strip on and put the vinyl siding back on. What vinyl siding should be put on with 1.5 roofing nails. And these are electro galvanized. They don't have to be galvanized in vinyl siding, but they ain't that much more. So you might as well get it. These are actually hard to open with one hand. Come on, Johnny. Get tough, son. Hold on a sec. My goodness. Alright, got it open. 1.5 roofing nails. So we'll fill our old pocket up with them, and we'll put all that vinyl siding back up. And I appreciate you watching. If you would, leave me a comment. Maybe you've had this happen to your double wide or single wide. Maybe you've had an experience with a repair guy that did a halfway job on something like that. Or maybe you can just comment and a thumbs up. That'd be great. Hit the like button. It's easy to do, and it helps us a lot. I appreciate it. And like I said, I appreciate all y'all. We're at 7,500 subscribers. God is good. We keep going up, and I don't put that many videos out anymore. But I want to grow this YouTube channel, and I want to help you guys. I want you to grow as I grow, and I want to be able to help anybody I can. Anybody that's commented, I've tried my best to get back with you with questions or tried to help you. And as always, you can look up my email, gkbuilding2021@gmail.com. If there's any way I can help you, I will. And I appreciate y'all. We'll see you on the next one.